focus today on both sticks, both parts of the stick, intrinsic, but generally let's speak regarding the motivation and empiric actually evidence. What is our current state of the of our industry and country, which is allegedly somewhere in the best of the world, right? It's awesome. But still, the show, the star of the show is the share options, because this is a kind of like theme why we started to organize this. And during the panel discussion, we will have a brief intro of actual case where share options are implemented, and Nauris will a bit go deeper, do's and don'ts, and how it looks like and what is important in that sense. Panelists are here, and let's maybe then start with the opening question, which is in regards to, in your opinion, what are the key trends in talent motivation and development currently? Nauris, maybe you can kick it off.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. So, as already in the keynotes we heard, that talent is scarce, so it means that we have to do something about it. So we cannot just be in the never-ending hiring loop. It's just not effective anymore. So we have to start to think how we can actually engage employees to stay in the company, so they feel this sense of ambition, they see that they grow with the company. And I think that's a quite challenge for people and culture teams, what to do now, what we should change in our actions, in our events, in our benefit packages to actually make some sense for the employees which are coming in. And on top of that, there is crisis, then it's COVID, then there is war, and then there is Gen Z and millennials. So a lot of moving parts is happening now. And I think it's very important to figure out what we are as a company, how we want to build our culture, and try to fit these employees and maybe people what we want to gather around us. And that will be the main thing, how you can engage if they will feel that, yeah, I belong here, I want to work here. No matter what kind of job I'm doing here, I want to do this here.
Yeah, no, maybe for finance perspective, how are you doing? What is like current state, and what are your focus nowadays on if we talk about the talent motivation and engagement? What are the main pillars?
So we wanted as well that, like Nauris said, that there's a meaningful job to find this. We have some challenges as well to find this meaningful dual roles that they have, and the purpose like is very important for this nowadays people. In our colleagues is very engaged now, like a collective, but this big challenges is like who's coming in, the new generation, to offer them career growth, the fast career growth maybe. This is like our challenges. We are in Latvia small collectives, like 50 employees now. Yeah. Maybe in like an HQ level, there's a more bigger company, but yes, this is this challenges we are now fighting and doing it, because the talents is hard to attract if they don't feel this meaningful flexibility, how they can work and choose the.
Maybe some of you have a real example how we can show them, like when they enter the door, this is heaven, guys. This is heaven.
With
maybe
attitude.
With attitude.
Yes.
Okay.
They're very welcoming, and it's like in onboarding and recruitment is very important to the new employees as well, so they feel the company. Like HR and the managers is in the first place, they are giving this first impression that how they will work here, how well they feel. So you can just give this emotion to him, this new employees. Yeah. So this is as well very important. First impression from the company, employer branding as well. So they are just meeting you in like first place. Yeah. It's just like you are already choose the people who's like showing your company in the.
Yeah, I will maybe add a little bit to it, that it starts very much from the very beginning when you start the interview process, when the person has shown the interest, or you have attracted the interest to have the initial conversation, and then understanding what's important to them, what they want to achieve in their career, or what they are looking for, And then the question is, can we give that to them and how we can do that? So or during the onboarding stage, when they already joined the company, you can then go step by step and help them to develop their plans. So together it aligns with the company goals and both are the winners. So the employee is satisfied and engaged and motivated, and also from the company side we are achieving our goals, which we want to achieve from company perspective, and also growing our talent internally. So both sides are satisfied in that sense.
We are touching slowly the HR programs in that sense, and in your opinion, the role of HR programs, including Comben, including learning development, etc. What is the role of to have this structure in the organization? How important is it? What is the role of the HR systems? I'm gonna rephrase. Maybe you can go.
Yeah, I guess I can start for this. It's very crucial position in a sense. I would say we are very, especially now, we are empathizing even more on learning and development. It's also part of Mintos virtue to continue growing. In a sense also that we are a growing company, we have future plans to achieve and continue to develop our product and our customer base. So from the employee perspective, we also want to see employees who stay with us and grow together with the company and can add this added value to the company as such. And learning and development is a very individual approach in our company. We use where our direct managers who are very actively involved with the team members go through learning patterns and skill set, hard and soft skills, which they want to develop and to achieve the common goal where they want to get in the next year or so. And based on that, we can offer internal trainings, we can offer external trainings. Employees come up with their suggestions, which courses they want to take, and based on that, we can develop our employees further.
Mm-hmm.
We have very similar, like my colleague said, yes. Very individual. So we have a training manager who's like looking up for employees and see what they need, cooperating with managers, as well as like employee can suggest their plans, what they want. Manager is looking what, from his perspective, what he wants to be managing in this, like, what kind of skills need to be learned and developed. So yes, very individual. So we can offer this because we are small company. No, in Latvia, like we can offer this like individual.
Yeah, we're gonna circle back to learning and delve a bit deeper because we have two cases actually. By the way, KPMG, my favorite of big four, my favorite big four. The two interesting cases, actually, how the learning culture is being developed in the organization. Before we go to the Nauris specifically and share options and actually its role in employment, engagement, motivation, and well, as I mentioned in the presentation, right, sense of ownership is literally you are owner of the company, right? I want to ask you, maybe one of you can tell me what are the key vitals, what your employees currently are expecting, or what is the kind of, they're pinpointing this we need to have in our organization from the motivation angles in order to employees be satisfied. I don't know, it's a coffee breaks or whatever, but maybe I'm doing trivial example, but maybe you can share some of you.
Actually, I can add that actually in fintech industry, we are very spoiled. We have a lot of benefit package in the benefit package. So there are a list of benefits what we offer, and each company is competing with each other for the same talent pool. And that's kind of the curse, and also the good thing for employees that they don't see this anymore as a benefit. So they know this is, okay, these 10 things I already need in the company. That's not something we should talk at all, like coffee breaks or pizzas or whatever. Yeah. And then it's even more challenge, okay, what new you can offer there. And the developmental learning is one thing which is now developing quite fast in a lot of companies. We will touch it later. And the share options and equity-based benefits, it's something new. It's something new in the market. And I think it's not yet hype because there are not a lot big events happened yet. So there is no Lamborghinis or Ferraris driving around. Yeah, so it's in Silicon Valley it's different because there is this cases they see, okay, there was some geeky guy who got some share options and now he's driving Ferrari and building the house. And And I think once in Latvia also we will have these cases when from share options actually someone has got rich, then I think everyone start to evaluate, okay, I need to ask this and ask more share options than maybe I can offering. This is I think this is challenge still for us as well in DelfinGroup, where we have the share option program, but I think the employees still don't understand what that means. What are the benefits of that? And it's even more harder for those companies which don't see, okay, when we will go public or when we will have some exit or whatever, because then it's just a promise. It's nothing you can actually touch. In our case, it's a bit different. I will touch it later. In our case, that we actually can convert those share options, and we have stocks which we can sell. And yeah, so we have to become more creative, not only to actually offer something that everyone is offering already. That's not a benefit anymore, but how we can customize it. And I think it will be a trend also in the future, how you can personalize this benefit package for each individual employee. Not that you have like same benefit package for all employees, but it's same happening in the client segment. So customers also, they want the personalized attitude, how you sell their products, and that will happen in the employee space as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with that statement that personalization is key, right? We want to be, everyone is unique as a snowflake. We want to be treated like that. Okay, maybe actually this is a great segue to discuss the DelfinGroup business case. Maybe you can take it over and actually go a bit deeper.
I hope the presentation will be there. So, yeah, I will tell you the practical approach what we have implemented, how our stock option program works. So, just briefly, we launched it last year, and our pool of stock options is 450K stock options. And already at the beginning, the shareholder and the management decision was that all employees can get these share options. So no matter if you're a salesperson in a branch or you are a management team, you have option to get these stock options. And we already allocated the first stock options last year, so there is already tangible thing that people know, okay, I will work for some time here, I will get some stock options which I can convert. At the same time, as a good attraction point, we still have stock options in the pool, so any new employees who want to join, they also will have actually opportunity to get these stock options. So we keep this as a potential engagement and an involvement option. And yeah, so in more practical sense, so we have each employee as stock options approved by board. It's based on the org chart, based on the value in the company which you could bring in, and we allocate several times in each year, and we allocate for a vesting period 1 year. So for example, in January, we send out to the employees, you have that many stock options, you can convert them after 1 year in the stocks. And when this vesting period changes, so we're using this nice thing that we can do it after the 1 year, the vesting period is only 1 year, we say that, okay, now you have 30 days, do you want to convert these stock options and execute these options and get stocks? And if they choose to do that, then they go to the local bank, do that stuff, and they can transfer already the company stocks in their investment accounts. And as we are listed in the Nasdaq Baltic main list, so that's already the point when you actually can materialize these things. So you can get the dividends, you can hold them and appreciate in the value, and you can even sell them if you want to get immediate return of these stocks. So I think our case it's unique in that sense that you already know that it's real thing. You can get real value out of that. It's not something promised, not something in the future. You don't know shareholders who want to go public, who will want to sell the company or not. So you can actually do that already after the vesting period. Here is actually the one example. So let's imagine employee X. He received at the year 1 allocation of 250 stocks. 1 year vesting period is ended, so he can actually convert. So 250 stocks in his investment portfolio. On the second year, we say, okay, you're a good employee, we will give you another 250 stock options. He works another year, and we give him option execute again, and he already have 500 stock options. And so on, each year we look on the stock option pool, how many stock options we still have in the overall company pool, and we decide based on our chart how many we want to allocate for each employee. And each year it's kind of like individual approach, and you can you can get these options, and afterwards you can decide to execute them or not. So we still don't have the results because, as I mentioned, it's only the new thing now. So I don't know how many employees will actually execute. We are stuck on that. We have to teach actually our employees what are investing, what are stocks, how they work, how you can invest. So we have to also somehow get over that hurdle as well to teach and learn. Teach the employees how to use them, how you can go to the Swedbank and where you open the investment account and how you can convert that. So that's all also on us. But I think as we have 300 employees right now, it will be nice to see that these employees start to understand, they start to invest, they see the dividends are coming in, they see that the company value is appreciating and their stock value portfolio is growing. And we hope that in a few years this will be the case where we say, okay, there is employees driving with Lamborghinis and Ferraris. So that's briefly about our stock option program.
What are do I understand correctly, the next challenges for you in this regard is actually educating, right?
Educating, yeah. We had very nice live video about how this all works, but I think the employees still don't get it. So it's hard to explain how they works, what is the concept, and also we have rather unique design. So the designing phase also how there is a lot of things you can design how this should work. And in our case, we decided, okay, we allocate in each year, and then you have 1 year vesting period, then you can execute, then we allocate again. So like in Silicon Valley, it's a bit different. You like 4 or 3 year vesting period, there is that many stock options, and then you can carry them on and then just execute them on 4th or 3rd year, and then you get the Lamborghinis. Yeah. So educating, telling them to execute, we will see what is the real result of this. Will they execute, and is that a benefit, or it's just for us? We think that as a management team it's a benefit, but in our case that we have this real value and materialization option, I think that's something that's different.
Based on it, thank you for that. I wish you best of luck in this.
Thank you.
Measuring and teaching and learning, guys. The emphasis on pulse surveys or measuring what is happening in your organizations, how you are doing. I know Nauris definitely has in previous experience actually how to use this, but in your organizations, KPMG, etc., how you measure, how you checking what is the heartbeat of the organization?
This is again, I think the pro and con of such an organization as KPMG. Because it's global, it has many sort of systems ongoing, and they're just being adapted and improved. And about measuring, we have our global people survey, which is happening once a year. I think we should be doing it more frequently, definitely. But anyhow, there is a process in place how we measure how people feel, and based on those results, which are we compare against last year, we compare against other sort of different service lines, against different countries, so we can get out of it the focus points for the next year, where we focus on, where there are some not bad, but better improvement might be something that is necessary. And so then we actually in focus groups first of all discuss with employees. Focus groups are organized. The employees are anonymously actually discussing what are those concerns, and then that feedback is fed back to the management team. And then we make our key action and focused points of what we would be focusing on and what would be the actions we would wish to implement by next year, so that there is accountability and that people see that we act on what we have discovered in the survey. And that is a process which is happening each year, but I think we should do it more frequently.
Do any of you have a different approach in organizations? Do it more frequently than maybe good place to work survey once per year?
Yeah, like in Latvia office, as I said, that we are small collective.
Small
like,
but strong.
But small.
Be proud
okay,
of that.
Yeah. We can do it individually, so we can talk with the people. So one-to-one. As well, we are now practicing that. Guido is talking with all employees in company, so one-to-one. So with the coffee, talking what is the concerns, maybe what is going on, how they are feeling. As well, the managers is talking with the employees. Maybe sometimes it's like hard to say. Employees to your manager, it's like what is the concerns and what is the problems, and easiest to say in a anonymous survey. It's easiest to say what is the problem. We are doing like this as well, but individually, it's like talkings and with the people is I think more efficient. So they are feeling that they are heard. They are yes. They are meaning for the company, value for the company, because one of our for finance value is put people first. So you can see this.
Just wanted to add, because I was listening to you and remembered what we did was this sort of giving feedback to the company. We 3 years ago we introduced sort of a reverse mentorship program, where there are the new joiners which have joined last year or so. They were mentors for directors and above, basically management team. So this was very useful actually, because what we did, we met over coffee or dinner or lunch once a month, and not your direct manager, but like across service lines. So you don't need to weigh into your manager, but you can sort of discuss what you like or what you don't like with someone you're not connected. And it really showed many things which we need to improve, or we are good at, which is also a good thing. So that is one, I think, very, very nice. One of our partners heard about the system somewhere, and we introduced, and we are very happy with it. It's really fulfilling also for me as a manager, just to hear and to discuss and to address actually and explain things that people probably they're not wrong, just they haven't understood probably that what is going on happening. So this reverse mentorship is a good thing.
I mean, the key of perceived versus perceived value or real value, right? And it's actually the challenge of an organization nowadays is actually what we think as a management. We're cool, we're engaging, right? But that's reality. It's actually those situations when you have the new blood. Sorry for my language, but you know what I mean, right? Entering the circuit, then you actually get the non-biased feedback, actually, right? 2020 came, right? Nobody expected that. It had some course correction in our HR policies, accelerated remote working, etc., etc., etc. What are the future, in your opinion? What are the kind of, I know future is unknown, but what are you preparing, maybe crafting some sort of ideas or strategies to be bulletproof for the ever-changing work environment?
I can add here because we survived those crises, but one lesson learned, at least for me, what is important or for management teams is that cultures go over crisis. The monetary benefits, as soon as you drop them, and if that's your culture, the employees will just abandon the ship. And then you have to create culture, which is not something you can do overnight. So it's something that you have to do years, and each year you have to just evolve in that culture and bring it in the new level. So that's what I saw in my previous workspace, that we had a great culture, and when the crisis came, those employees were very engaged to, okay, let's do this together. Let's try to get over those crises. And there were no like complaining, everything is bad or something. So and that was already years what we have invested to creating such culture. And I think that's the key thing if you want to survive the ever-changing environment. You have to create great culture. You have to get people to understand and fit in that culture. And then you can add on top of that these intrinsic these benefits, because if in the crisis that's the first thing you have to drop, then also the ones who rely on that will go away. And that's the lesson learned. I think that everyone should understand that the culture is a thing. It's something you cannot define. It's something you cannot just pay more and get. It's something you have to build.
Hallelujah. Fully agree with that. But if we go back to the future, Pun intended. It's an interesting
Go
concept.
back to the future.
Back to the future, right? But if we do circle back to the topic of future, what do you see maybe while you're on the mic? What are the future trends you foresee? Maybe technology, ChatGPT, right? In HR, it should help as well in a way of it. Maybe you can elaborate a bit more.
Yeah, I think that a lot of trends already is visible what's happening now, so that you have to personalize approach to the employees. You have to give them ambition, this sense of belonging. That's very important for the newcomers in the market, the Gen Z and millennials. So you just cannot expect to work from 9 to 5. You have to give these options, the flexibility. Those trends have been for 2 years, and as COVID accelerated them. And I think for me and for my team, I see it's already like everyday stuff. It's nothing new. It's not trendy. So, but I don't think that's in different industries. That's the same. I see that heard that there is still CEOs who wants everyone back in the office, and there is only 9 to 5. I will control everything. But you give this also in your keynote that the autonomy actually it's very important. It's very important, and it's strange. It's counterintuitive that if you give this autonomy, and you give this like sense of belonging, the employees actually will perform much better. And you think that you can control and you can do everything better than everyone, but actually that's not the case.
Yeah, I can maybe a little bit collaborate a little bit more. I completely agree with you. For us, I feel that at Mintos we have this kind of culture and things already in place for quite some time, so it doesn't feel necessarily something new. It's more about improving and adapting more to external environment. So flexibility, if a couple of years back and we offered flexible environment in terms of working hours and culture, it was something new to potential employees, and it was a way to attract those candidates. Then today it's an expectation from their side, and it's not even worth mentioning during the interview stages. It's kind of comes with the whole package as understanding as it should be there. Same also with employee well-being. I think it's something that we should empathize on more today, and going forward it'll be only kind of louder in terms of how we should look after our employees, how they are doing, and do they have this work-life balance? We could have it on paper, but is it implemented in practice? So I think that's something kind of ongoing work, talking about the future work.
Anything controversial maybe from others? Maybe let's go back to office 9 to 5. Maybe actually going against the trend is the key.
I personally don't think we will ever go back to that. It's like it's done.
So basically,
Yeah,
this
it's done.
topic is dead, right?
Done.
Like,
It's
okay.
done. But I was thinking to myself, what actually is probably the new things we at KPMG are doing. I'm not a HRP person. I'm just like seeing what our people and culture team are doing. And I think also from the results of global survey, one thing is obviously well-being. But this year we have even taken it on a next level, rather than us ensuring the well-being, teaching our employees how to sort of maintain their well-being themselves, how to not giving it from our side, but just teaching and educating to take care of yourself in the challenging work field. And the second thing I think we are now very much concentrating is purpose, because there always has been a purpose, but it's not always so obvious when you are in consulting. So and that is how we have some action plans in place. How this year we sort of communicated properly, in terms of when we used to have those sort of talks about what we have achieved, what there are wins for us as a company, and now we are talking about those wins sort of from the purpose perspective. What greater purpose this particular project or our assistants have done? Because I think for the new generation, the purpose is one of the key items, and it's not about money, it's not about anything. There are different personalities, obviously, but the purpose is there. And if you and when I was asked to do that, to talk about the purpose of what we are doing about a project, I instantly knew it when I just needed to say it loud. And since I saw it, knew it, felt it, it was very easy to communicate. And I think it also, then I hope it somehow reads out. So that is our one of our focuses at this year at least.
Slowly, we need to wrap it up. We're actually, I told you when I started that the timekeeping is not my forte, time management. But just quickly through the last segment, we touched briefly learning and also, which actually relates to retention eventually. Maybe, guys, you can share what are your strategies, or you see the strategies for learning and development a bit more. What type of strategies you're using, what's working, what's not, and retention. How are you focusing on retention? What are the main aspects you're focusing on?
Yeah, in terms from our side, so this year we are very focused on developing further our management, people who are managing people and kind of like building the teams. Because we feel that they are those people are the ones who are very actively involved with all the employees within their setup, and they should lead by example, and they can give the best practices and help their team to develop. So this is one of the main focuses. Currently, we are going through developing a focus group. Could say that we have some best practices from different materials which we're putting together, and then together with our CEO Martin Schulte we will be doing kind of this focus group where we go through what our vision is, what we want to take away from kind of learning materials, how we see that people can engage and motivate their employees, and also together with management and middle managers putting together kind of actionable points how we want to move forward this year. So that's a very big focus for this year, and of course that will give and kind of like add knowledge to our management to then educate further their employees as well. And that's constant improvement from our side to work on.
Yeah, our priority this year will be the succession planning. So we will just look at this point of development in our employees. As well, the people-to-people learning is important to show example as well with
Sure.
our attitude and works. This would be a top priority. So yes, learning, individual learning, how we can push up our talents, and I believe that everybody has their own talent, so we can just develop them and see individually how can we do it.
I think there is one huge challenge to overcome. It's willingness to learn.
Oh,
That's something that I think as an employers or as a people persons or as a management, we have to endorse that people has to learn. So you have to be willing to learn. And I have seen good designed learning programs, but they never work because the people don't want to learn. So in IT, there is a bit different situation. I'm an IT person, so it's easier for me to talk from that perspective, that IT is changing all the time. So technology is changing, and if you are not learning and going together with the flow, then you are just out of the IT, and you just cannot work efficiently. In IT, I think that these development programs work very well because people know how to learn, they're willing to learn, and you have just to give the right tools how to do it. Either it's money or it's courses or whatever. It's just to learn, but how to transfer it to overall organization. When I will say the organization who everyone is willing to learn, acquire new skills, then it's just a matter of what kind of tools you give to them. And somehow it again goes together with culture. You have to cultivate this. You have to say that everyone has to change. According to the World Economic Forums, by 2025, there will be 50% different jobs. So it means that your job may not be the same as it is now after a few years. So you have to go along it. You have to develop new skills. You have to gain new competences. And as an employer, at least in DelfinGroup, we know that we have some certain competences which we will need in the future. So we kind of kind of drive our training programs towards that, and we try to figure out how to get employees to learn that, and so they grow, and our company purpose also is reached. So, and that's quite a task, how to manage that. But yeah, that's we are also we have the training department. Usually it's mostly has been very practical. You have to train how to service the customers, or how to use some programs or something. Now we're adding also this soft skill stuff, so that you have to learn, you have to do that. Maybe let's try some agile methods how to do it, and it's not only that it's on one team, but it's overall in the company. You have to motivate people.
Maybe 3 cents, you mentioned that it's based on culture, but maybe you have a secret sauce for us. Like what
If I would have, I would use it everywhere. So, but no, it comes from what I understood. It comes from management. Management has to be very engaged, very motivated to learn. So I have one-on-ones with all my direct employees, and I talk with the personal development all the time. Okay, what we do next, and what is the next cycle? We meet after six weeks, what we will do. So what we want to train. So it's very important that managers are interested to grow their personnel. So if they will not be interested, they will just try to squeeze everything out. Then employees will just leave because they don't see the motivation. So. As a management team, you have to work with the management team to be involved. As a manager, you have to talk with your team too, and that's passed down the cascade. So, yeah, and then you have to just be honest. I think honesty is very important. Also in the interviews, beginning we talk that you have to tell what we are. You just cannot pretend that you are different, because it will be first week when employee will understand that what you told in the interview, it's not here. So and it's bad. We have a very small country, small talent pool, and the word spreads out quite fast.
So let's narrow it even down. Let's talk about the big four hiring patterns and the learning development, right? Because you have literally limited talent pool. And before you go into what is your approach, because it's really, really interesting how you are learning and developing, maybe you can answer the question, what is more important, hire personality and train the skills, or go for already polished professional in the field when you're hiring for yourself? What is more important for you guys?
When I'm hiring for myself, the personality and the cultural click actually is what matters, and the attitude, which is actually the attitude and willingness to learn, which sometimes also is visible in the interviews. Then again, there are instances when there is a gap which needs to be filled with some specific technical expertise. So it depends, but priority is to get someone on board which fits well and is willing to learn and fits the culture. So that is my answer.
Talking about the learning, you mentioned, we had a brief discussion a while ago, and you mentioned your approach on learning, developing. Maybe Fintech can inspire from you guys how you are doing in the KPMG.
It again, so that we are developing, we sort of used to have a very standardized goal-setting approach, so which has now evolved into open PD process, which is called personal development process. This is an ongoing process throughout the year. Each employee has its own performance manager, and we meet regularly, like monthly, and the idea is that the performance manager is sort of a coaching body to the employee. There are some standard sort of kind of business goals into that, but the more and more sort of emphasis is made on the learning and development in understanding, so that the employee himself comes to a conclusion what is the development area, what he would like to develop in the coming months or quarters or year, and sort of realizing that, fixing that, and then thinking about the actions and the steps, how to achieve, what kind of learning that might be necessary, what kind of projects needs to be, he needs to be involved, etc. So it's sort of a coaching, and we are all managers learning to become coaches, basically. That's also very exciting and challenging, because not all of us are natural coaches, especially from consulting, where we are used to give advice rather than listening. And that is, so it's inspiring for all parties. And what I heard from some new joiners who've joined from Latvian companies with no previous kind of such a thing, they were very excited about that and very much appreciated how it's cool to talk to your performance manager to discuss concerns, development areas, discuss feedbacks, etc. So it's on one side formalized thing, which is through the system. On the other side, the coaching approach, and then the learning plan is linked to that performance discussion and those items which are to be worked on going forward.
Okay, thank you. I was hoping to have Q&A with you guys, but sorry, not gonna happen. At least we're gonna end on time, right? Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining us everywhere. Just a couple of takeaways from me regarding today. HR is always evolving. That is one thing. Now I want to emphasize. Fintech is a bit spoiled. That's the second thing I want to emphasize.
It's true.
And the people is first. As you heard from the different people here sitting on the panel, that actually that because of where we are and what talent scarcity, how it affects us, actually we have to put people first. We have to work with existing managers actually to develop so they can actually develop new guys and others, because they are those field guys who are working with the employees, and it starts from the management. All these activities starts from the management. You have to be mindful about what you are doing and how you are doing, but you have to put the person first. You have to build it up from the bottom up. But the effort, like kind of intellectual and monetary effort, has to come from management. On that note, I would love to end our discussion. Thank you guys here.